He's a liar, he's a cheater, and he's probably a criminal.
I'm on Long Island's North Shore, a place made famous by a man who rose through the ranks of New York's high society with a fabricated personal history and dubious sources of wealth. I'm talking, of course, about George Santos. That's just one of the many names he goes by. The 34-year-old Republican won election to Congress in November, but he's been dodging reporters since his victory after it emerged that he lied about his heritage, his career, and his finances.
He lied about his grandparents being involved in the Holocaust, lied about his employees dying in the Pulse nightclub shooting, lied about where he worked and where he went to school. It's all egregious. And he refuses to speak to the media, he refuses to speak to elected officials in his district, and he refuses to speak to the voters who voted for him.
So we decided to try to find him, this imposter in Congress. Okay, so we're on the way to George Santos's district office. He's quite hard to pin down these days. You see him in the House of Representatives. Wherever he goes, he's chased and hounded by reporters, but we're hoping to catch him here in his district where he should be working diligently for the people of New York 3. We arrive at his office, but his name's not yet on the door. Hi. Is this Congressman Santos's office? Thank you. Hi there, how are you? My name is Richard Hall, I'm a journalist with The Independent.
So all media knows to stay outside the office.
Okay, I have to stay outside the office. Is anyone here willing to talk to me? Any of his supporters or
all
staff?
All official statements come from our official communication staff.
Okay.
All of which are available to you.
Okay.
In D.C., virtually, etc. We're here serving constituents.
Okay.
And all media knows to stay outside. You're welcome to contact our communications office.
I will definitely do that.
At any time. But we just don't want to deter.
That's fair.
Any attention from constituents in need who are maybe less welcome because there's media presence.
That's absolutely fair.
Camera.
Yeah, absolutely fair. When do you change the signs? Is it just moved in?
They're in the process of doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's brand new. They were sworn in 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, very soon.
So, all in the works. We're working hard.
Busy time for you.
Busy time.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so Congress is on break at the moment, so we expected to find George Santos in his district office just behind us here. They told us if we wanted to speak to him, we should direct our inquiries to his DC office. So we're going to call that office now. Hopefully we can get to speak to him or someone on his staff.
Thank you for calling the Washington D.C. office of Congressman George Santos, representing the 3rd Congressional District of New York. For any media requests, please email ny03press@mail.house.gov.
That's helpful, so you can't even speak to anyone now, you just have to email him. And I'm sure he'll respond in a timely manner. Since no one from Santos's team will speak to us, we thought we'd talk to some of his constituents.
What I've heard is pretty crazy. How do you make it that far and literally make up everything? Graduating from college, not graduating, working for these places, not doing it. It's crazy to me. As a Republican, get him out of here. You lie about that many things, who's going to take you seriously now?
But Matthew is not the only one outraged by Santos's lies. Jody leads the grassroots community group that has launched a campaign to get Santos removed.
I was just so angry that once all this stuff came out about George Santos, that we reached out to other folks in the district, really through social media, and we decided to start being active.
But here's the thing. A lot of this came out before the election. Hi, Congressman. Richard Hall from The Independent. A lot of the revelations about Mr. Santos came to light before the election. Why do you think so many people still voted for him?
So my understanding is that there was a local publication that was onto his lies, but it's not until a national publication like the New York Times weighs in did it become a national story. And by then it was too late.
Grant Lally is the publisher of the North Shore Leader, the local paper that first raised the alarm about the holes in Santos's story.
But what we saw was the discrepancy between what he was reporting and on his campaign finance disclosures and what we saw on the ground, because he had no campaign. There was not a lawn sign, there was not a radio commercial, there was not a television commercial, but his campaign finance disclosures claim at that point that he had already spent $1.5 million. it's a story that is almost beyond belief, that someone would fabricate to this radical extreme. It's almost impersonation, where someone has assumed a completely different identity from who they actually are. And that's what makes this a particularly gripping story.
This story is unlikely to go away anytime soon. Republicans in Washington have such a slim majority in the House that they are reluctant to force him out, even though the local Republican Party have called for his removal. And still, George Santos is refusing to resign.
Will you step down?
I will not.
It's been difficult for us to find George Santos. We went to his office, we tried to call his campaign. If you could speak to him now, what would you say to George Santos?
Tell him resign, go away. You've used people, you've abused their trust, you've taken their money, just go away.